Welcome to WHX Insights. My name is Peter Birch. This episode is powered by WHX Tech in partnership with Megamind IT Solutions. Joining me today is Hamza Batterjee, CEO and President of Megamind IT Solutions. Hamza, thank you so much for joining today.
Thank you, Pete.
It's great to have you here on the show. I'd love to hear from you firstly. Tell me a little bit more about Megamind IT Solutions, why it exists, the mission and the problem it solves.
Well, first of all, thank you for getting me on the show to be able to share innovations from the region and Saudi Arabia, to be able to share it to the new generations.
Thank you. And so in terms of Megamind, what's the problem that it's solving?
So Megamind, we started in 2016. What we do in Megamind, we are a health technology company. We are considered as an end-to-end IT company. We start all the way from infrastructure to data analytics and artificial intelligence. So pretty much we start when projects are under construction. We start with consultancy firms and contractors, and we go ahead with the designs. We go ahead with the passive work, with the active work, building the data centers, going in. Then we deal with the operation team, going into hardwares, front-end solutions, like into the healthcare, HIS solutions, laboratory, lab, RAD, etc. Then we go into the back-end solutions, like the ERP, Oracle, etc. And then we go into the front-end digital solutions, like the digital front doors. And then we move towards the business intelligence and data analytics. And at last, we go in with the artificial intelligence to make sure we avoid all the staff burnouts that are happening in healthcare, since healthcare is becoming more expensive day by day.
Yeah. Interesting. It sounds like the full kit, almost, and the capability is quite deep there. Interesting that it's all, I imagine, being homegrown or based in Saudi, that there'd be some value in that, being able to really understand the region to be able to deliver outcomes. Tell me about that.
The local Saudi talent is needed because we would definitely add the local realities into the softwares that we develop, right? And that's really makes a lot of difference. When global companies come to play, they wouldn't be able to address the market needs unless they would have local partners to be able to understand what are the compliances and requirements for that specific region, either for Saudi or for the Middle East.
I'll come to that global point in a moment. But you mentioned artificial intelligence, which a hot topic of discussion these days. But it can also be quite a broad topic and quite almost lose a lot of meaning, or it's difficult to then quantify where it's going to add the most amount of value. Where do you see artificial intelligence practically adding the most amount of value in healthcare these days?
Everybody's talking about artificial intelligence. That's the hot topic everybody talks about. But on reality, on ground, artificial intelligence won't be able to be implemented if you don't have clear data. In order for you to have artificial intelligence, you need to have, as an organization, a clear technology stack where you know exactly how the operation is moving forward, as well as how the data is going to be cleansed to be able to move forward to the artificial intelligence. Now, in the artificial intelligence, people are so afraid of artificial intelligence that might replace people, but actually it will reduce the burnout and help out more efficiency. So we're talking about in healthcare, which is growing right now, which is the ambient AI, as well as the Gen AI, which is reducing all the nurse and clinical write-ups and what's happening there. And that would actually reduce the burnouts, which and would provide clear data.
That's important. And, I guess in light of these emerging technologies and the requirements, locally or within the region, be it Saudi or across the UAE, you touched on global organizations or organizations from outside looking to add value within the region. What do you see that they overlook, or there could be a surface level understanding they have that's just something you as being able to deliver the value locally have really understood well.
So basically, I mean, insurance and payer relationship solutions, revenue cycle management solutions, that would definitely need to be able to know the real know-how of the exact region or country. So global companies would come in and they would think that they will be able to just get the system from the shelf, on the shelf, and implement it directly in the region, but that's not as easy as it could be. They need to have local realities on ground to be able to understand what are the requirements, what are the compliances of that specific sector that they're trying to enter to, specifically for RCM and payer solutions.
And where do you see the healthcare innovators really should be prioritizing in terms of innovation or the problems to solve right now?
Healthcare cost is increasing rapidly day by day. And what we try as technology companies and what we look forward in getting approached by global companies is finding solutions where they can really cut costs and increase efficiency. And that's what we're looking for. Since AI is coming into play, we need to have solutions that can increase the efficiency in order for us to be able to have clean data outcomes.
Hamza, I'm thinking, given that you've got that local expertise, and I think anywhere in the world, one of the biggest challenges that we have is around interoperability. And whilst we may have one good system that can deliver a certain kind of point-to-point solution, the power is really kind of unveiled when it can connect to other systems or pulling in data. So it's always a challenge anywhere I go around the world. What does interoperability and connectivity look like within this region, and how do you go about it?
Our relation in Megamind with our partners is it's built on trust and transparency, right? So what we decide on, we make sure that we're aligned on the strategic goals, clinical goals, financial goals, business goals, and we make sure we have these committees in order for us to be able to address these interoperabilities. Now, what's happening in healthcare? Healthcare is a large sector in many solutions. So it's a siloed industry in simple words. And what's happening today, we want to make sure that we have these integrations coming in. So going there, you need to have a technology stack. You need to have a clear integration bus to be able to integrate these solutions, making sure there is clean clinical data outflows to be able to add on these new ideas that healthcare providers and leaders want to do. So, usually leaders have dreams, but they wouldn't understand the technical difficulties on ground, where these technical difficulties on ground, they have to be aligned with to be able to address these technical difficulties with clear delivery milestones. And it's not one day achievement, it's a journey. But again, it's a clear roadmap that needs to be addressed and aligned in order for us to be able to reach wonderful skies. But again, in order for you again to have these AI solutions integrated, you need to have that technology stack well organized and architected.
I feel like that's important because you need that visionary blue sky approach towards what the future might look like, but then the practical implementation of it is sometimes a different story. And I guess in healthcare too, it's an added complexity, because if it was purely a technology problem, I mean, you could just connect some APIs and the data flows across each other, and that could be a relatively straightforward process. But, you know, I guess in some other regions, you've got the challenges of legacy systems and unstructured data sitting on paper and all of this historical kind of piece. And also there's all of the regulatory components and other bits and pieces that just make healthcare a bit more complex. So I guess there's all those factors that need to come into play.
Legacy system is available everywhere. It's not only in regions, it's available across the world in every single industry, right? And that's what today's technology is evolving quite fast, and new technologies are coming into place. But you have to consider these legacy solutions, which you can't get rid of them. You have to make sure you adapt with them and make sure that you can integrate with them by making sure you have these integration buses, as well as making sure these data are cleansed. So a data warehouse to be able to have these integrations possible.
And lastly, thinking about Megamind and the directionally where things are going, what's something we can look forward to in the future from Megamind?
Megamind, we've actually proven to have a successful digital front door solutions like patient engagement solutions and mobile apps, etc. We're really understanding how patients are trying to persuade their information as well as convey the information to doctors and vice versa. We're building super apps. As you know, today's world, everybody have a phone, a smartphone, right? So pretty much, it's what the clients want. And today, you get your delivery in a couple of minutes. You want the same thing. You want to have care within a couple of minutes, right? Well, that's not happening in today's world, and we want to make sure we do that through smart digital front doors and smart handheld softwares, as well as integrated with these AI solutions. So going forward, building super apps, and of course, having these multiple AI components that would definitely address predictive requirements of the patient prior to moving to hospitals, but we will do it as a healthcare instead of sick care, which is happening today.
Understand a little bit more about what Megamind is doing in this space. So thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you very much, Pete.
And thank you for joining us for this episode of WHX Insights. This episode is powered by WHX Tech in partnership with Megamind. Make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube so you can catch all the future episodes. My name is Peter Birch. I'll speak to you next time.